Hello and welcome to Chemicals Knowledge Hub TV, your one-stop shop for industry interviews and insight. Now, to meet the ever-growing demands for safe, effective and affordable medicines, the pharmaceutical industry must utilize cutting-edge tools to enable reliable drug discovery and development. Johnson Matthey is a global leader in applied science and sustainable technologies, and it's working with the industry to develop and innovate solutions that make a real difference to the world around us. Delighted to be joined by Vice President of Development Operations at Johnson Matthey, Shawn Walker. Shawn, thank you very much indeed for joining us today. Tell us a bit about yourself and about what you do at Johnson Matthey.
Thanks very much. As the VP of Development Operations at Johnson Matthey, my organization is really the science and technical development engine of Johnson Matthey's health sector. So we're responsible for chemical process development, analytical development, solid form science and particle technologies, as well as the introduction of new generic APIs and finished dosage forms.
And what are the trends that you're seeing and the issues that are impacting pharmaceutical development and the manufacturing value chain at the moment?
Well, there are several important trends impacting pharmaceutical development and the manufacturing value chain. These include, firstly, the trend of increasing complexity of new drug modalities or molecule types. Secondly, an increased focus on patient centricity, which is really driving the need for new drug delivery technologies and the speed to the clinic and commercialization. And then finally, in the current climate, the immediate need to continue the supply of vital medicines during the COVID-19 crisis, while at the same time rapidly developing new treatments and vaccines, and what the longer term implications are for the pharmaceutical supply chain.
Sure. You mentioned there about how organizations are adapting and responding, particularly in the pharmaceutical industry, to the COVID-19 crisis. One of those things is the need for speed. So tell me about how you see this increasing complexity, the trend there, and the need for speed in drug development. And what are you doing at JM to adapt to some of these challenges?
Well, this is an amazing time. So we're seeing the convergence of many branches of science and engineering to solve some of the world's most difficult medical problems. So it's a great time to be alive. It's a great time to be a scientist. But all this work has resulted in an unprecedented array of new drug modalities, including novel small molecules and biologics, as well as gene and cell therapies. And so really in the search for these new drugs with better efficiency, better safety profiles, it's resulted not only in increasing structural complexity of small molecules, but it's also led to the rise of small molecule biologics pairings like antibody drug conjugates, led to the rise of new types of modalities, synthetic large molecules like siRNA, antisense oligonucleotides, and the emergence of new modalities, including proteolysis targeting chimeras or PROTACs that induce protein degradation. And among this backdrop of diverse and complex synthetic targets, there's an ever-growing pressure to shorten drug development timelines in order to better serve patients and really compete globally in a dynamic marketplace. So to support this new paradigm, JM has been building an agile follow-the-molecule capability kit, which includes solid form screening and characterization, as well as rapid transition of projects from the laboratory scale to the kilo lab to the pilot plant, all the way through to commercial manufacturing under one roof and across one global network.
You mentioned the global network there. Something else that has fallen out perhaps of the pandemic at the moment is some perceived and actual fragilities in the supply chain. So how are you planning your supply chains in the future, given the lessons that we're learning around COVID-19?
Well, I think the COVID-19 crisis has really brought to the forefront some of the fragilities that were present in the current global pharmaceutical supply chain. So I think moving forward, it's possible we may see more of a shift from just-in-time manufacturing to a just-in-case manufacturing paradigm. So in this scenario, some of the companies and in fact countries may try to better balance supply chain efficiency, which typically means lean inventory supported by just-in-time supply, versus the overall robustness of the supply chain, and really try to diminish the risk of over-reliance in any one geographic area. So since JM has commercial API manufacturing footprints, both in the US and in the UK, including the ability to handle controlled substances, potent compounds, we're really well positioned to support the strategic supply of essential medicines, including analgesics and other drugs in the battle against COVID-19 and other illnesses.
So looking at Johnson Matthey then, what are some of the key developments, strategic developments that you've implemented over the last few years?
Well, in line with the growth of precision medicines and targeted therapies, we're continuing to invest in designing our facilities to support a flexible, modular, small volume API manufacturing and the handling of potent compounds. So this includes implementation of enabling technologies such as continuous manufacturing, which should help us shorten production cycle times, should enhance safety and ensure product quality, as well as an increased application and reliance on predictive modeling tools. So basically, we're trying to accelerate development by reducing the number of experiments performed, or really focus on a few key experiments which can help drive process knowledge. And on top of this, we've been investing recently in increasing particle engineering capabilities, milling, and spray drying technologies, all with the goal of enhancing drug performance and bioavailability, and ultimately improving the patient experience.
You were talking about the growth of novel drug types earlier. So tell me how you see the future of those, and what role is JM playing in shaping the future of ADCs and other targeted therapies?
Yeah, we're excited. I mean, we're committed to developing these new modalities and playing a significant role in their commercialization. For example, we've established important partnerships for the supply of oligonucleotide subunits used, for example, in antisense therapies. And we're manufacturing the drug linker for Immunomedics. So they have an exciting new antibody drug conjugate, Trodelvy, that was recently approved by the FDA. So it's a treatment for metastatic triple negative breast cancer, and we're an important part of the supply chain.
And what about the future of small molecule manufacture in drug development? How does JM see that?
Well, the future is brighter than ever. More than 70% of new drugs approved by the FDA last year were small molecules. And then if you include other modalities that also employ chemistry as part of the manufacturing platform, like antisense oligonucleotides, the RNAs, ADCs, there's really a lot of opportunity ahead of us. So we're very excited, and we're looking forward to embracing the opportunity.
Well, we've been very excited to have you joining us here in the studio, or in the virtual studio today, Shawn. Thank you very much indeed for your time, and look forward to catching up with you next time.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.